fall off the window right there.
I don't think so.
Good morning. How's everyone? Glad to see I'm here today. Good to see everyone here.
Where is it?
I don't know where you did it.
Okay, go ahead.
How's everybody doing? Good to see so many fine individuals in the morning chat. Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to Pat Taste Performance live stream, pop-up live stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Yesterday here on the island was absolutely gorgeous. What a pleasure to get stuff done. And finally, I was able to start doing some projects that needed some paint work. So that's how I was definitely taking advantage of the fine weather that we had. So I'm almost tempted to turn on the water and bring out the pressure washer, but the temps for the week are just dipping a little bit too low that I really don't want to push it. So yeah, and that pressure washer is pretty vital to me because I finished up 2 snow blowers, waiting on another 2, and for them to be like completely done, they definitely need to be, clean and gone through so they look just as good. I'm sorry, they look just as good as they run. So that's pretty wild.
And for us, clearly, even though Puxatawny Phil is predicting 6 weeks of winter, our good old Staten Island Chuck groundhog said spring was coming early. So I guess we got to go with the Staten Island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think we're gonna get snow. If we get snow, it's not gonna be much. I mean,
watch, we get slammed now. Good job.
I guess, it's whatever.
Well, we've got enough machines now. We're ready.
Yeah, we definitely do have a fair amount of machines. I can't say the word, but we are selling 2 snowblowers today, or showing 2 snowblowers today. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We did not talk about price whatsoever at all. One guy, it's going to be an interesting encounter because he's been messaging you for how many months?
Well, I have a lawnmower sale set up today. And no, you're forgetting. I have a lawnmower and a snowblower. So which one are we talking about? Because
snowblower.
So, oh God, over 6 months.
So that's going to be interesting.
But did you tell them the caveat on that?
No, that's you.
So the reason I said to the mister, how long? I have 2 deals potentially going down. And this guy has been going on for over 6 months. He lowballed us in the beginning. And we have stayed firm, and it's not for him. It's the classic, it's for someone else. And so basically where we're at now is, because we haven't had snow, he's kind of like, well, we haven't had snow. Do you still have it? And I wanted to say, well, you messaged me for it. So clear, I wanted to give the not nice, smart aleck response back that I imagine you probably would have given.
Yeah.
But I simply said, you know what, a sale's a sale. So I said, yes, it's, I think I just responded, yes.
Now, do you remember that guy we fired? I think you guys remember we spoke about, there was a guy who, remember?
Oh, yes.
So remember, I tell you guys all the time, depending on your circumstances, no matter what it is, secure a deposit, get some money up front, hold nothing for nobody, and if you have to deliver, get something, right? We're in a digital world right now. Get some money in your pocket to compensate your time. And remember, that guy wanted us to deliver. Where was he? Do you remember what town he was in?
The one I was working with?
Yeah.
He's probably about 30 minutes away from here.
The first guy who came.
Oh, God. Southampton. At least 50 minutes away, an hour and 20 minutes away.
No, forget it. I think he was in like Freeport, or He was either like in Freeport or East Meadow, which is a good like half hour, 45 minutes from here, right? And then he says he wanted us to deliver it, and then he would pay me there. And then I says, okay, I'm gonna need to cover delivery fee. So it's gonna be $50. And I need that money up front. And I gave him the choices that he could pay us, and that is non-refundable. It's very simple. Whether you take the machine or not, I don't care. I got $50 to compensate my time and gas or diesel, right? So then as soon as we told him that, he was like, oh, I'm just going to come and take a look at it. And then he was here for 45 minutes kicking tires on the snowblower. I was never so irate. And that's not the first I've been irate this season, but that was my first interaction where I was irate. Like, this guy is this guy serious? Like, I would have if I didn't take a deposit, we spoke about it, sorry. If I didn't take a deposit, I would have jacked ass 45 minutes to this guy. He would have wasted another 45 minutes, and then he wouldn't take the machine because obviously he left empty-handed. And then he says, oh, I'm going to be looking at a few others. So it's like, what? You know, and because we're delivering and we said we would deliver, he's looking at 5 other machines. How many people are going to offer delivery? How many people even have the means to transport? So a couple weeks later, he messaged that he wanted to buy the snowblower. And I told her, nope, he's done. He fired himself. No, thank you. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's going to be used, sold as is. He did crack our code. He knows what we do. If there ever is an issue with the machine, he's the type of guy that will cause a problem. So I saw the reading on the wall and no thank you. So he actually messaged us a few times after that, and we just said no. So at this point, since we had no snow, do you regret not selling to him, or?
No, I was right. See,
Sound Beach.
I told you that's out east.
Oh,
close enough.
Sound Beach?
You went that way, honey.
I thought Sound Beach is.
Sound Beach is out east, honey. My husband doesn't know his way out of a paper bag. So
I felt like
I was wrong with the Southampton, but I at least had going out east correctly.
So do you regret?
My husband's looking up a map now, so just excuse him as I take over the live.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Say it again, sweetheart.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't regret it because here's the thing. At the end of the day, here's what I believe. Listen, we talked about this on the lives last year, right? And the year before. With the lovely global warming or whatever we're going through, there's going to be some winters coming ahead that are going to be great and some that are not.
So I don't believe in global warming. I don't mean to cut you off. I believe in that there's a climate change and that patterns shift.
What do you think global warming is, sweetheart?
No, global warming, you're saying that the global warming.
That is a shift in our climate. Look up the true meaning.
But what I'm saying is a shift is that states or places that never get snow got snow.
They did.
That's
Texas,
one extreme.
Look at Texas, sweetheart.
Okay, so that's a shift. That's not global warming. That's a shift.
But honey, when it happens over a pattern over a certain amount of time, so last year, places that never saw any and it's not just snow, honey, it's certain elements. So last year, certain states that didn't see elements in years saw elements they'd never seen in years.
But that's not global warming. This year was,
but honey, global warming doesn't have to be that it's happened 10 times. It's a trend that begins.
Okay, but it's still not global warming.
We are seeing the beginnings of it, though, honey.
They've been saying that for years. I don't believe in global warming. It's crazy.
Long story short, we're seeing a change in weather patterns, no matter what.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. You can call it hocus pocus, schmocus mocus. But at the end of the day, people are seeing things they've never seen before. And listen, at some given point in time, we're never not going to see snow again. I don't believe that's the case. I don't think we're going to become the new Long Island Boca Raton. I think like our friends like Mondo's Mowers are still going to keep all the nice, warm, sunny weather down by him. But listen, we're going to have seasons where we're going to have more of the fluffy stuff than others. The season's not over. You know, it's funny. I was going back in a conversation at a meeting the other day. And folks, if we look back at snow season 1989, 1996, some of the biggest blizzards we ever had happened in Easter in April. blizzards. April. So I think we're forgetting that at the end of the day, it's only really February. Who knows? You know, could we potentially see something in March or April?
We are
I know
not seeing snow in April. April showers bring in flowers. That's grass season, baby.
In the one of the blizzards of '96 that we had, they had high temperatures just like we're having now throughout almost all of March, and then they got blasted in April. So you never know. Can I be honest with you? I know the mister may want to plug his ears for this one, but here's how I'm feeling. We've got an abundance of snow blowers that are ready for sale. But at the end of the day, I don't care whether you call it global warming, climate change, weather changing, no matter what it is. Quite honestly, guys and gals, it's just vocabulary. The truth is, what do we really care about? We care about sales, right? If you're really in this game, some of us, like the mister and I, we are prepared for really any season. And the mister saw this trend happening, whatever. Again, I don't care what you call it. I mean, we're really on minced vocabulary at this point, calling it global change, whatever. You especially you guys like to get hung up on the vocab. But at the end of the day, last year, as you know, was it last year? I believe so. The mister saw, obviously, we need to expand things at Paté's performance a little bit. We saw that things were shifting a little bit with the climate, and we needed to invest a little time learning something new. So whether we get slammed with the white stuff or not, and we hold on to some machines for next year, I actually believe that a true business individual, enthusiast, entrepreneur looks forward to the path and journey ahead. And I am really quite optimistic at the seasons ahead with tractors for us. So I know the mister and I both, listen, I would have loved, what was it, 48, 49? Was it a little less, a little more snow blowers that we sold? Was it 2 years ago, last year?
So
I would love another season like that with snow blowers, but let's face it, there's a market out there for tractors here as well.
Can I just say one thing?
I'm excited for that, and I truly believe at the end of the day, just in any business, I see it in mine as well. I don't care what you're in, basket weaving, rug shellacking, small engine work, whatever you're in. You've got to wax and wane with the seasons and the economy. So I think that's what the mister saw, and I respect in him. And listen, part of being an entrepreneur is sometimes doing things that you're not comfortable with, taking risks and learning, right?
Yes, this is going to be a huge learning curve. So I'll be honest with you. Two things.
Yeah, please.
I think it was either we sold 38 or 40 snow blowers.
I think it was 40 then.
Yeah.
Might be getting 48 because we trickled. I think we were selling the summer is what it was.
No, so what happened was that we took snow blowers in as trade-ins. Mm-hmm. And then in the middle of all this craziness, we picked up a few in the process. But those don't count because that was within a 48-hour period. So that was possible because we didn't have snow for 2 years. And I'm an idiot. In theory, because I kept buying. And yes, I did sell a few machines in between, but for every one that I sold, I kept acquiring. I kept acquiring. And you guys remember that season? That's pretty memorable for us because that was the most successful period in our life. But I took a risk and she dealt with it because 40 snowblowers is a lot to deal with in general, and you guys know how limited we are. And to the point when she saw all of this, and I agree, she's like, "Oh, you're going to do another 40, right?" And I'm like, "You have no idea how much work this is in general." So now we have another opportunity. This year she wanted to do another 40. Now we have another opportunity to do that. So do you still think we should do another 40?
Well, here's how I feel.
And then we'll jump into the tractors and stuff.
I do believe that we're in an economy right now I don't care how you look at it. And I don't like to get political on here. I do feel like we have a economy that is in the toilet. I think, and understandably so, people are being very conservative about their spending. I also feel that people are going to hold out. And can I be honest with you? Yes, everyone here, we're in the business, right? Whether it be snow blowers, tractors, lawnmowers, whatever. You guys see a great deal on something, whether it's for yourself or a family member, a friend, whatever. You tell them, grab it. I'll fix it up for you, whatever. Imagine you're not in the business, right? Let's be honest. You're going to hold out. You're going to hold out. You see a day like here, this past Friday, guys and gals, it went up to, I think 60 here, right?
I don't even know. It was gorgeous. You know, out in the driveway, it's a little bit warmer. So
you see 60-degree temperatures. The birds are chirping. The daffodils are pushing up. Is the first thing you're thinking of spending the money that you're honestly holding on tightly to in a bad economy? Are you thinking of running out and buying a snowblower? And I'll be honest with you. If you're running and knocking down, let's say, our door, we're also not letting our snowblowers go for a, how do we say it? A
deep discount.
A deep discounted price because it's the end of the season. That's the thing. We've got no issue with holding on to good equipment of value because you know what? No problem, sweetheart. I will save that for next year's stock. So how do I feel in answering your question? I think this is where you evaluate. We're at a point where you look at the season. I have to be honest with you. It's a tough call. There's some really incredible deals out there right now, but we've got good stock. It's not moving as rapidly as I'd like it to. People are not inquiring. And I told the mister, in my line of work, the beauty that I get, see, he gets to see the side of it. He talks to a lot of you guys. He gets to talk to a lot. He gets to see who he and I get to see who's inquiring about buying. I work in a line of business where I get to hear your customers. I get to hear the people saying, I'm holding out buying a snowblower because it's so nice out there. So I'm hearing all your customers. I work with them basically. I'm working with the average homeowner who's saying, I'm not spending my money on that. I'm going to hold out. So listen, I'm going to say right now, no, I don't want to stock the 40. But unless something incredible comes along that you can't really pass up on, because the truth is, there's always a thing called you store it. And I'm really not ready to get into the conversation about it right now. But I also told the mister at the beginning of the season, I wanted a plan B for coming across things that we really wanted, where I didn't want to clutter up this space. So we do have just, things in mind to make sure that we can't pass up good deals. I don't like passing up good deals, but I have to really be honest with you. My head's really on tractors right now. I don't want to pass up good tractor deals if they come along. That's where my head is at. But if he comes across an incredible few snowblower deals, no, I wouldn't pass it up, but I don't think I want to take on 20 more.
Okay.
That, quite honestly, how are you feeling? Because I it's hard to read you, but I still feel we're in a tough position. We're really only like halfway out the gate, guys and gals. It's only what, February 10th, 11th?
Yeah.
What is this?
So let me go through the chat. You got 4-0 turns. That's absolutely amazing. That is something I definitely do want to get into. We actually tried buying a 0 turn last year and again this year. This 0 turn, I was going to pay full asking price. It was probably the most expensive piece of equipment that we would ever buy and have on the channel and sell. The lady who was selling it just wasn't reading my messages. And I mean, I probably scared her maybe because she was reading them, but not responding. It's like cash in hand, will come now. Here's my phone number. Hello, this is an opportunity for me to get this. I'm like, I can't say I'm lying, but I was in Hanson's situation saying like, hey, I could pick this up right now, cash in hand. It's going to take me within the hour. You need to let me know because my schedule is kind of hectic with work. If not, I was going to put the ball in her court and say, like, when can I pick this up? And the price of the machine, the caliber of the machine, the resale on the machine, and the factor between me and you guys, like, I was willing to maybe like work out my work schedule to pick this up, leave early, come late, bounce a day. Like, that's how important this zero turn was to me. And it did not happen. And I was very frustrated because I felt that I was kind of like first to flight. And I don't know if someone beat me at my own game or I just scared her, but I just didn't get it. But zero turns, we're finding out. I mean, obviously it's pretty much common sense, but I've been saying this the longest time. The bigger the machine, the bigger the prize. So it just comes down to space and comfortability. If we were to get that zero turn, you know, I've never had one. I don't even know if we could fit that through the gate with the deck.
We talked about you have to take the deck off, I think.
I'm not sure with the zero turn, but I would have.
I think it would become another car of the driveway.
Yeah, it would be another car. It would be another car of the driveway, but something like that is just unique and niche, and it was $1,000. I'll put it to you that way. But I was ready to spend it. Amazing.
Did you scare her by selling all the hamburger meat?
No. So I'm gonna answer my question. I just want to go through your comments. Was that the year the government? So.
Oh, when we sold all the
No. So the year that the government gave everyone $1,200, obviously that was during
the C times.
Yeah, the C times, and we were blowing lawnmowers out the door. Remember, I think you guys remember in that channel where business was booming. And remember, I took Mandingo and I bought everything this other flipper had. Because he doesn't sell online, he goes to he does flea markets or I forgot what are they called when everybody meets in a parking lot and they bring their car and they bring their stuff.
Oh, not a swap meet.
I don't know. He does.
Oh,
he does that.
A meetup person.
He does that, and because of the C stuff, it had to C, so he had all this abundance. So I remember I took 2 trips with Mandingo.
Yes.
And we sold all of those lawnmowers.
That was fantastic.
In less than 2 weeks. So that was phenomenal. So that was it for us. But
those dates are cool.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, we're starting to see, last year was pretty good for us, considering the year before that was good for us. There's always going to be the spring sprint, but that's that. So as far as acquiring 40 snowblowers, there have been a lot of good deals that I have seen, and it's you have to restrain yourself from buying. And the only reason I'm restraining myself from buying is because we have a project pile, and the project pile has a few snowblowers. One of the snowblowers I probably had for about 3 or 4 years, and that's a snowblower I want to feature on the channel.
And it better start becoming a project before it starts becoming someone else's.
Yeah, so that I definitely do want to do. And I'm trying to blow out the project pile before I start acquiring things. Once the project pile is kind of blown out, then I will start picking up, but I'm going to be selective.
I like that.
I'm going to be selective on what we buy. When we acquired the 40 snowblowers, the first year we had no snow. Between the second and the third year of having no snow, I made a promise to myself that I was not going to go out and spend $100 on a snowblower. I'm sorry, that was my limit. I was capping it at $100. Anything over $100, it's just not going to happen unless it's some rare caliber, crazy machine, right? I bought a tank, right? That's not on the channel just yet. That is something I would never do at the price point that I paid in the condition that I paid it in. But my gears are grinding. I wanted to see the internals of how it works, and I want to share it with you guys. So I actually have been working on the tank. I just haven't been documenting it because I didn't want to do that, but I might turn it into something. But we shall see. So then what happened is I wasn't spending $100 and I was missing out on a lot of good machines. I ended up increasing it to $150 and I still wasn't happy with the results. So I increased to $200, and then from there I was able to acquire But I'm telling you right now, at $200, I'm not buying projects. You know what I mean? I'm buying great looking, beautiful. You get to be selective at this point. And that's what I was able to do. I even got a couple earrings at that point, but yes, I did spend a little bit more than that, but that was circumstances pending. Now,
and that becomes also a timepiece that you're playing with too, because you're taking on machines at a higher price point. So you're a quick turnaround time. So then you could dedicate your time to other machines. And so if you think about it, he's really bringing in the highest equity on his time and the business, because those higher price machines are going to bring back more value for us.
Yeah.
And then also value on his time, because now his time could be spent on.
Yeah.
So in the end, it ends up working out as a win-win, but up front ends up costing a little bit more out of the kitty.
Yeah. So like my plan with the tank was basically for me to get it to Pate's performance standards and then do a few things on the channel with it.
Yeah.
So I started the standard process and I was kind of in a limbo due to lack of snow and other priorities. And we're coming back to it now. So I'm not sure if I just want to drop this bomb on you in the middle of the process or just wait till the end. But I definitely do want to drop a video on it for you guys. I want to show you guys. And I also might have another idea with it. Because I get this question, like some of these questions like all the time. And I know me personally, I wouldn't entertain it because that's just not how I am. And I practice what I preach because I think I have good integrity. Unlike other channels and other individuals, you know, I wouldn't do or I wouldn't push something on you that I wouldn't do
yourself.
Myself. You know, you guys see, if you guys look at other channels, they're pushing products and they're pushing certain things, and you don't see them here because that's just not for me. And then if you even want to go further down the line, pay attention to those individuals, pay attention to those channels. When that hand stops feeding the other hand, where do they go from there? Do they continue to use the products that they were pushing, even though they're not there no more? And that's just on a broad.
We try to always practice what we preach.
And that's just a broad spectrum of it. And
we're not perfect, but you try. You definitely always try.
Yeah, I always gonna try. So, you know, the tank is something, you know, for me
that's gonna be cool.
Personally, but then I'm going to transfer and push it on you. Do I believe in track drive snowblowers? You know, no. But
someone else may dig it.
Someone else may need it. Someone else may want it. I mean, listen, there is a wow factor, and for me, that's what got me. This wow factor that got me, and I did overpay for it by a lot of money.
We had a customer who only wanted that. Remember the guy with the one drive, and you even said to him, "Don't get the track drive. It only wanted was the track drive."
You know,
it's intriguing. It really is intriguing.
There was a very unique story about it, which also intrigued me too. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting. This snowblower traveled halfway across the United States and back. You know, so it's amazing to me personally. But I just had to get it. And you know, I was teasing.
It's been around.
Yeah, it's big for us, so that's also going to be another factor. But you know, this is something that I just needed to satisfy my inner individual. Like, you know, I like to see how things work, because I don't claim to fix and know everything, but if I understand how things work and how things grind my gears, and I can understand how to fix it and then emulate it towards you guys, and you guys can make the decision when you guys come across something like that.
Mondo Mowers. Mondo, I had to do a double take here on Friday. I get in from work. The mister gets home first. And to my wondering eyes appear, the mister in a bikini working on a snowblower in the driveway. And he says, "I just want to be like Mondo Mowers. It's like 60 degrees here. It feels like Florida. Mondo, we love you." It felt like Florida here. This must be what it feels like in winter to be you. it's probably in the 80s by you, I'd imagine, if not more. But it's nice here. It was nice here on Friday, at least. Everyone's saying hello, saying the same, saying hello.
So look at that. Every day I'm hustling second chance lawnmowers.
Here's
Absolutely.
the thing. Second chance. We could have a conversation all day about this. I don't care, man, woman, small engine. I don't care what you do. We know that the Mr. and I do this together, different parts of this together. I have a completely different world that I work in, plus my own side business on the side. I don't care if the economy's in the toilet or not. There is always something you could be doing, whether you call it enthusiast, hustling, entrepreneur, but please do not come at me that there is nothing that you could be doing to increase your cash flow. There is always something to be doing. And the only reason that someone's going to come to you that they're not, do not let someone tell you that the economy's in the toilet so they can't. It's because they don't have what it takes to want to put the work in. It's work. It's work what we do here. It's work what I do in my work. Anything that takes the ability to bring in cash flow is work. And if you don't have the drive and the momentum to want to put in the work, you're not going to see the benefits that could come from it. So second chance, the more I beg of you I know we can lead people to the water, but if they don't drink it, but the Mr. knows we try so hard, the people around us, to just let them kind of see like the fruits of our labors. And we hope that the more we can teach other people that there's like, you could have your main gig, your side gig, but just work hard. Like there's so much benefit. You feel good about yourself, providing for your family, for yourself. And you just hope that the people around you could take away something from it. Just keep on doing it. Mondo says hello to everyone. Just agreeing with one another. It's all about making the money. And I think you were referring to Plan A, Plan B machines. And I wanted to speak on that. We too here at Pat Taste Performance, we will offer, listen, everybody, we talk about this all the time. Everybody comes to, your offer up, your Craigslist, your Facebook Marketplace. And listen, you all have those customers, those Ricky Bobbies that come in with that champagne taste and the Kool-Aid budget. You've got to have the Plan B machines for the Ricky Bobbies. The ones who are going to, on that $1,000 machine, offer you that $400, price point. We too, the Mr. can speak on it. You have, for the most part, you got to have that Plan B machine or that Plan C machine. I know the Mr. has quite often, you'll have that machine that you'll say, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z to this machine. Or he will just have recently acquired a machine and say, you know what? I've got a guy who just offered me X, Y, and Z on one of our higher price machines. And I just got this lawnmower or just got this snowblower. You know what? I'm not going to paint it or do this or do that. And I'll do the oil change. I'll do this, but I'm going to offer him this one at his price point and go with it from there. You have to know what your machines are worth. And then you have to sit there and say to yourself, you're not going to slaughter yourself on your prices, but you should have other caliber machines at different price points. That's so important to be able to offer. Would you not agree?
Correct. We should always do that. Always have, options with us. We try and do the same thing. And we've spoke about this in the past that, I'll even go out and I will spend a little bit more money to fill a void in our lineup. I try and keep X amount of machines at X amount of price points because when somebody makes an offer, I'm sorry I don't, but I have this that I can give you. Now, I'll be honest with you. We have, like I said before, right? If you have it for sale, you list it, right? We still have lawnmowers for sale. I have a lawnmower at $250, but it's at a $50 discount. That's going to be $300 when the season comes. The guy offered me $150. Now I don't have a lawnmower at the $150 price point. Excuse me, and I don't even have one in the project pile. Now, last year, a $150 lawnmower is self-propelled with no bag. We were selling those like crazy. So that's what he's probably going to get. I just don't have anything for him as of right now. And I'll be honest with you, my focus really isn't lawnmowers. They probably should, but I'm just trying to go through the project pile, just try and get some things done. We're still wrapping up a few things on vehicles. So, that's what I've been doing with my time, is playing catch up on all the vehicles, repairs, and just sneaking in, a few things, here and there. Nothing going crazy. That lawn tractor I picked up that was more of a learning experience for me, and that's definitely going to be a journey for us, because I am definitely going to lean on you guys a lot to get this done. I understand how a motor works. It's just, you guys know I'm not afraid to admit it. Electronics on these tractors is like, just in general, anything that does electrical is a big hurdle for me. My biggest fear was also repairs, but as you guys see, as we've been doing tractors, I've been warming up to doing mechanical repairs, as in like belts and pulleys and some welding and stuff like that. That's okay, because I could take that from what I've done in the past. These electrical hurdles, safety switches, and all this other stuff, that's going to be PTOs and stuff. That's going to be a new thing to come. But the only way to do something like this is to learn. And you guys know, for the longest time, I always defer or pass on tractor repairs, because I don't want to learn on somebody else's machine, time, and done. If it takes me 5 hours to work on a lawn tractor because I don't know what I'm doing, they shouldn't pay for that. I shouldn't. I don't want to do that yet. I'd rather get a tractor, work on it at my own pace, take my time to figure stuff out, make sure it's repaired right the first time, and then get it out the door. Even though everything we sell here is as is, with no guarantees or warranties, I just want to make sure when that machine leaves, it's in the best form it possibly can be. And I want to stick to that, and I just want to double down on some of these repairs, that I make.
Rob had said I prefer the higher end machines, even if the profit is the same, as I'm sure I can sell them. Yeah. Like the Mr. said before, sometimes, we think nothing of, we've picked up, even backpack blowers, those tend to, it depends, depending on the type of blower. We've picked up a used backpack blower where the Mr. knows, like, the margin on there might be $50, $100, but it's like almost like new, barely used. And at the end of the day, though, we know it's not even going to stay within our possession for a couple of days. It's a quick turnaround, quick profit. And
then you guys are talking about zero turns and stuff like that. You were saying that transmissions, you're paying $700 for a zero turn maybe, and then it needs a transmission that's $750, which is, it is what it is, right? But turn that into a process. We spoke about this before, right? Get a credit card that you're going to have to order that transmission, right? Get a credit card that gives you cash back and bonuses the whole line, right? And then buy the $750 transmission with the credit card, obviously pay it off so there's no balance, but then your credit card's going to give you a bonus. And over time, that's going to pay you back. And we've experienced it. eBay has eBay bucks. That's why we promote eBay a lot, because we'll use a credit card, get a bonus, use eBay, get a bonus. And after X amount of months, eBay is going to be like, hey, these are your cash back rewards. And then we'll just get free parts, free tools, whatever. So that's something you definitely guys need to look into and utilize. And there's nothing wrong with even, to me, depending on your comfortability level and how much you're going to spend on parts and stuff like that, oil, spark plugs, nothing stopping you from opening up a credit card that can optimize your returns. Don't be going opening up credit cards just because.
No, we're not encouraging.
Do your research. Do your research. Make sure they give you a great return when you purchase things, and pay it off as soon as possible. Because some of these credit cards, the one that we have that we use, I haven't checked in a while, but it's 30% interest. So if you let that balance hang at 30% interest, there goes that's the whole purpose of getting this free money. So don't get caught up.
Oh, wow. I just spent $1,000 on 7 tractors and already sold one for $850.
That's great. Yeah. So that's
incredible.
That's fantastic. You need, when you guys go on group buys, okay, that's what it is. It's an investment. And, you know, you got to think about how many tractors is it going to take to return my investment? And then from there, how many do I have to sell to make money? Like you guys seen when I went to the city for all those errands, spent a lot of money. But I already calculated in my head, like, hey, if I can sell X amount of machines, what is going to be my return and profit? So
Those are beautiful machines.
Yes. So
And
here you can go.
Hold on, Rich coming in with his shorts. Make sure you guys take a look at that. The 2023 Ryobi 40V749. Excellent. Rich, you're really killing it with your shorts. Good job, man. KCB.
Yeah, and that's
excellent.
and that's the name of the game. Whenever you buy a machine in non-running condition or that needs repair, that's the risk you have to take, and that's something you have to outweigh. Not everything is going to be a home run. I mean, you've seen it on the channel. We say it all the time. Like I'm all about Pete Rose. I'm here for average. At the end of the year, right? You're going to whip out your book, go through your notes, and then you can see what your average is for the year and see the fruit of your labor. And then from there, because I can't remember everything that I do, then you have to start making decisions and how you're going to improve yourself or what changes you're going to make to optimize the next year for yourself.
Yeah. Health issues, sideline, Casey, just before Christmas. So lots of babysitting too.
Here,
Well, the beauty is, I'm hoping you're seeing the upside of those health issues now, KCB, and we're thinking of you always, thinking of all you guys always, and some quality time with your grandson. Yeah, this has been a wild, you know, we walked out of 2022 thinking like, woo, we're going to hit the 2023 ground running.
Nope.
Boy, oh boy, guys and gals, be careful what you say. Be careful not to put the foot in your mouth. We've learned that we are no longer at the end of any year going to say, woo, the next year is going to be our year. No, thank you. We are just going to calmly put our head down and be like, I'll take your hand, you take mine.
Survive.
See you next year.
Survive. Survivability is where we're at.
We are just doing the damn thing at this point. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
So, Kaj Dog, hope you are well. Hope you and your family are doing well. Shoot me a message. Let me know what's going on. I know the last time we spoke, some stuff happened. So, just want to see how you and your family is doing. All right. So, there's still 500, MS 500, if you guys are not aware. And I haven't done too much research, but I know the 500, the MS 500i is a fuel injected chainsaw. So, I mean, you guys know how I feel about fuel-injected snowblowers. You know, so I'm going to try and transfer that over to my argument there. Although I don't know the internal workings of the fuel-injected, you know, how still has it, but I assume it's just like, you know, a snowblower, a lawnmower, a car, anything that's fuel-injected. Excuse me, there's a battery and there's a computer. And there's sensors telling this engine what to do. And I just think that's a little insane for a chainsaw. But are they doing this because they don't have a choice? And what I say is by having a choice is emissions. Because if you're running something fuel injected, obviously it's a little bit more fine-tuned and the emissions are preset and controlled. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere and your chainsaw goes down, what do? Compared to, you know, something as simple as the traditional one, can you just, you know, tweak the carburetor? Can you swap out a fuel filter? Can you, you know, do a primer bulb? You know, forget about, you know, your bar and chain. We're talking about the actual, like, motor itself.
Oh, I haven't heard you say that in a while. Can we say it? Prime for a good time.
Yeah, prime for a good time.
Prime for a good time.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
But you know, what do you?
Makes me feel in a certain way with Valentine's Day on Tuesday. So,
you know, what adjustments can you make in the field compared to what you have, you know, in the fuel injected thing? I just think, you know, fuel injection. I'll put it this way. I would probably stick my foot in my mouth for this one. You know, I'd rather have, you know, a battery-powered machine compared to something fuel-injected because it's cut and dry. You know, it's either the batteries, you ran out of battery, or there's something internal electronically that went well and you could probably just throw it away and get a new one.
You get so scared by anything electronic.
If it's fuel injected,
Don't be
you just
scared.
have so many other internal workings like a car, and you know how complicated a car is now. So
is it fair to say, and forgive me because this is a conversation that I can't add anything to because I really haven't, you know me, I haven't done my research on it. Like a car or anything else, the more gadgets, gizmos, or parts to it, there's a greater chance of something going wrong.
correct.
Easy in and out, conversation over. So why not just go for the old school model of less
But
that can be
again, there's emissions, there's reliability. You know,
Okay,
once you guys
fair
start
enough.
stepping up to 0 turns, right? A lot of 0 turns out there are fuel injected. A lot of the commercial walk behinds are fuel injected because a lot of these guys want to optimize. Fuel economy is very important once you get to that level.
So I have a question. Pick me, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I remember when we took one of the vehicles that I on my wish list off, it was because there are so many electronical gadgets involved. And I remember one of our mechanic friends telling us that we'd really no longer be able to fix anything even from home because there's so many computer programs, there's special gadgets involved to fixing the particular vehicle. With these fuel injector, snow blowers, chainsaws, etc., do you need certain tools, electronics, computers to fix them?
And I've spoken about this before here on the platform, and I've spoken on other platforms. You know, I remember a buddy of mine wanted me to look at his Skag standard.
Okay.
Had a Kawasaki V-twin, still under warranty, but the repair shop was just ages backed up. And he's like, I spent good money into this machine now. Can you take a look at it? And I'm like, all right, bring it over. And it was fuel injected. I said, see you later, love you, bye. On that Kawasaki, there is a diagnostic port that you plug a computer and a program into. So if you work on a lot of those, you have to spend the money on the diagnostic equipment to do that.
Got it.
And then if you want to deep further, look at Ariens, where LCT makes the snowblower for Ariens. Everybody wants to talk about how great fuel injection is, and some of these shops, I'm pretty active on the Ariens forum. They're pushing, fuel injection on people, right? But when people have issues with their fuel injection, how come these shops aren't chiming in trying to help them repair?
Understood.
Right? And then there are even guys on the Ariens forum that will bring their fuel injected Ariens to the dealer that they bought it from, and they're still having issues after they spent hundreds of dollars on a machine. So that means some of these Ariens dealers aren't either properly equipped or properly trained or both to repair these machines. You're talking about, one guy said he spent $600 on his Ariens snowblower getting it running. Now, personally, I would have freaked out on the repair shop, right? I mean, this EFI system, in reality, I know I'm contradicting, I say it's a simple system. You've got 2 sensors, a computer, and a wire harness, and a fuel pump, right? Because now there's no more carburetor. You actually have to have fuel being pumped from the tank, forcing it into the carburetor that has injectors on it. So why are you spending $600 on a machine for repairs and it's still not running? The guy ended up, which I think is crazy, and he ended up giving them the machine, and he ended up rolling himself into a new carburetor machine. The shop bought his snowblower off him, and he purchased a brand new one from them. So that's my whole, MO on that, and I will definitely not be picking up.
Good morning,
EFI
Chris.
machine.
Good to have you here.
Mr. Prime for a good time.
Oh, see? I say it again.
So,
With Valentine's, gentlemen, especially the gentlemen in the chat, don't forget today's Saturday.
and there's
Tuesday is February 14th. So whether you have that special lady in your life, or I guess I should be so politically correct, that special anyone, or just that special someone that warms your heart, don't forget to prime for a good time for Valentine's Day.
And then also there's another individual who had an EFI snowblower, couldn't get it running, and he saw the writing on the wall based on what other people were chiming in about their EFI snowblowers. He was actually looking into converting EFI to carb, and he just said, you know what, I'm just going to go out and buy a whole new motor. And that's exactly what he did. He went back to the traditional way. He also took the opportunity to put a bigger motor on it, so that was pretty cool as well. So, you know, you guys just have to, you know, outweigh the goods, outweigh the bad.
Good morning, Jason Hughes. Good to have you here. And I didn't get to say hi. Hi, Timmy. Hi, Timmy. How are you? And, oh, Mr. McDonald, how are you, my love? Good morning. And you never have to tell us you're late. I love it. It's all good. We're just happy to have you here. Good morning. Hello, Best Story family. Good morning.
I guess you guys are still tired from all the partying you guys have been doing. Happy birthday once again.
Happy belated to all. Aw, Scotty Keller. Yes, and Scotty, I was on time today. And I must admit, the mister's looking a little fresh this morning. You know, just to bring back some memories, when I first met the mister looked a little like this, except a couple buttons lower, no t-shirt, and just imagine a little extra hamburger meat with these chains. And that was what drew me. And a little less of this, and a little nervousness from him many years ago. Oh, Chris, there we go. Fuel injected stuff usually needs a laptop to adjust.
Yeah.
So
or just any computer program.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just like a car, you have an OBD port and you got to spend a fair amount of money, the same thing. So how come these dealers that are selling these snowblowers, how come they're not properly equipped to diagnose and repair them? I really, you know, listen, I call out, that's pretty freaking scary.
I agree.
And I say all the time on the Arians forum, they actually banned me for 30 days, is why is it when a person has an EFI issue, where are all these dealers that are ramming and saying by EFI, I'm having no issues, how come they're not there to help a guy who wants to learn or wants to try and fix? How come they're not there to help him? I think that's very toxic. I think that's very bad for the community.
Well, let me ask
if you as a dealer don't want to help other people in the community fix their machine, then don't be a part of the community. Don't try and push anything. Oh, I sell EFI, no problems. Okay, well, a guy here has a problem. Help him. And I tag them. And that's what got me in trouble. People would have problems with their EFI machine. Okay, tell me your issue. All right, tell me your issue. All right, EFI guy.
Can I just play devil's advocate? I'm just asking. So these shops that sell these EFI machines, right? So like I'm guessing they're certified Arians dealers, possibly?
Yes.
So are they looking, is it that they're not offering advice because they have to, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, I'm not disagreeing with you. Is it that they have to pay for these programs, so for them to offer free advice counteracts the fact that they are now not bringing in a customer? Yeah, because they have to support their overhead.
But if you're a dealer in New York,
yeah,
and a guy in California has an issue,
I see what you're saying.
You're not going to be missing out on any money.
Well,
so
could they direct them to an EFI dealer over there?
Of course. But if you're going to promote how great EFI is, stand behind the product that you sell and you promote and that you push on others and help the guy. Not saying, oh, take it to your local dealer or don't comment at all. Only appear when people have the argument. It comes up every year and time again, repeatedly throughout the season about EFI versus carb. And then the dealers will chime in and say how great EFI is, right? But then when issues arise, it's a ghost town. And I'll be honest with you, I can't fix an EFI machine. I understand how it works, the foundations of it, but the nitty-gritty repairs and the diagnostic processes, we can only do that using mechanical instinct of a carburetor. But I'm sure, because everything's electrical, right? I'm sure you can work your way around repairing an EFI without a special tool, potentially using, a multimeter and a few other electrical components. It's crazy, like a sensor. right?
Okay.
A sensor should have like an ohm reading, open and closed, right? I think talking out of line potentially. You take your multimeter, ohm it out, see if there's continuity. If there's a solenoid, right, make sure there's continuity. Then you put power to make sure the switch opens and closes. How you guys do that, don't ask me, I don't know that. And like a wire harness, if you have an issue with a wire harness, you know, it's not a crazy long harness, you know, do your visual inspection and then maybe, you know, see if you could test for continuity from one end of the harness to the other. Sounds like I'm trying to make it sound easier, but these are just my ideas of thinking of how to bypass certain things without getting an expensive program and go that way down the line.
Let's go for something happy. Ready to hold something up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What does it say? Read it. Read it.
Bear Spares, as you guys know,
go for your plug, baby.
He is my go-to for used secondhand snowblower parts. And actually, I inquired Rob about a rare bracket. And Rob was generous enough to give that bracket to me, even though he was selling the piece as a whole. He was like, I will take the bracket off and just sell you the bracket. And I'm like, no, don't bother.
Look how cute.
I will take
Bear Spares.
I will take my welder out and I will give it a couple of zaps. Okay.
Call Bear Spares. We've got your fix.
So as I say before, guys, if you guys ever need any parts for your snowblower secondhand, definitely reach out to him. Definitely a top-notch guy. I can't God, how many years have we been dealing with each other?
He's awesome. He is awesome. We're grateful for you.
Yes, I'm glad that doing what we did found.
Now on to a sensitive subject. Did Mr. Cheap finally retire Nissan? So Scott, we have gotten this far. No, the Nissan still lives. Number two, the Mr. has actually admitted the Nissan should be retired. And I will say, knock on wood, the Nissan will not be leaving 2023 with us. That is our agreement. But we also, don't forget, we're kind of like in a place now where it is not a buyer's market either. And I'll be honest, part of it is me. I do not want to just have to settle. The Nissan owes me nothing.
Dealers are still.
May I finish, honey? Because this is kind of my experience right now. Okay. When I got her, I had to settle. When I got her, my car was hit by a drunk driver into my neighbor's water fountain, and I literally had like less than 24 hours to find her, get her, etc. And she was not like the dream at the time. Honey, I shut that because I was freezing. My fingers are like ice. He's always so hot and I'm freezing. So I really don't want to, because we're not in a buyer's market right now, I don't want to have to settle on something. And I know, unfortunately, I might have to settle, and I just want to give it a little time. But coworkers of mine that have gotten things within the last couple months, things are getting better, and they've done really well with some of their purchases. Leases, etc. So I'm very hopeful. So yes, it's happening soon, Scott.
Yes, that's like
Casey. I can't. You kids and your fuel injection. Give me a car. Definitely not these kids. We are not promoting.
No, we do not promote.
And
we'll fight that.
And Bear Spares. I love that you're putting me in the kid category. Thank you. See, he thinks I'm a kid. Thank you. I feel like a kid.
And that's right. Casey brought this up, and I'm so busy with other endeavors. The farmers, if you guys know, sometimes I talk about it here and there. A lot of channels don't talk about it. But there's this whole thing that goes on to right to repair. And we're here, we work on everything, right? That's just the way it is around here, So the right to repair is very, very important to us, because that increases a great return on investment compared to being at the threshold of a dealer, because they have the software, they have the parts. If you look at Tesla, right? Where do you get your Tesla fixed? Tesla. You can't call them up and get So you can't call them up and get parts. You can call them up and get information. You got a problem with your Tesla? You got to bring it to them. So same thing. John Deere was doing the same thing. You can get rid of that. John Deere was doing the same thing.
Wait, I want to
go. John Deere is doing the same thing as withholding tools, information, and parts to farmers and outside secondary repair shops that are getting, I'm inflating this number, $300 an hour, right? So this whole big thing, Right to Repair Act, and I've said it before, like you guys need to push that. And, you know, a couple of years ago, I remember working on a Volkswagen that needed a brake job, a simple brake job. You actually needed an actual scan tool to retract the piston of the caliper in. And I told the guy, sorry, I don't work on Volkswagens enough to go out there and buy the program, or I already have the scan tool. I just need to get it updated to do that. Not doing it. Sorry, it's not worth to spend. I think it was $500 or $600 for the update. Yeah, sorry, no. Unless you want to pay that for me, absolutely. And I said that. And he was like, well, how about, you know, maybe we split the cost a certain ratio? And I says, no, I don't do enough brake jobs on Volkswagens to entertain that update for you. No, sorry, thank you. Go find a dealer or a repair shop that will have that program. Now, if the Right to Repair doesn't go through, then no one's going to have the software except the dealer. And I feel they're going to be doing certain things to these vehicles and equipment to make sure the only place you can get them repaired is with them.
John Deere settled and now has to make software specialty tools and parts available to customers to buy
Right to Repair
for their own.
You guys definitely need to stay active with that. You know, for some of you guys that like to fix and maintain and hold on to things, the Right to Repair is very, very important. And everybody wants to talk about battery powered. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's say, all right, it comes here. But make sure when the time does get here, we have the right to repair, not have the dealers hold you at threshold. So very, very important. Very, 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 very important.
KCB says nothing exists beyond tomorrow around here, with a little chuckle too. I'm sure it's an uncomfortable chuckle at the end.
And then
Casey,
also,
we can't even, we could 1,000% relate there with everything going on.
And we like to dabble in our vehicles. You know, the RPM Act, they don't even want you to upgrade them. You know, it's insane what they're doing.
Sorry, the mister's on a tangent. Timmy, you're welcome. And you know what? We're hanging in there the best we can. Same as our buddy Casey as well. Hey, yes, it is these two again. Hey, it's Craig again. How are you, Craig?
The future owner of 7 Gables. Congratulations.
Let's see. Is it Tillotson? Makes a better carb, almost as efficient, much less complicated than EFI.
Yeah, I see like a lot of Tillotsons being used in like the go-kart racing community, but I'm sure they
I was
going to
say, how come I'm not hearing that off? Is that specific to just certain machines?
No, because you could take like an old school Briggs flathead and put a Tillotson carburetor on it.
We don't use Tillotson though.
No.
Okay. All right. Because I was going to say, I don't remember hearing that. Oh, wait, hold on. Can we make this comment huge? Would you like to read it, honey?
He even looked hotter than usual holding that.
Again, bears spares. We've got your fix.
The cars to measure gas temps and use that info to keep the And same thing with an EFI snowblower. Same thing with an EFI lawn tractor, lawn anything. Yes, there's 2 sensors in an EFI engine, and it's no, not worth it in my humble opinion. We're talking about a small engine. We're talking about the price of gas, and I say this all the time. As a homeowner, not a commercial outfit, landscaper, whatever you do. How much gas do you have to use to see a return on investment on an EFI machine compared to a carbureted machine? You know, so for us as a homeowner, it's just not feasible. Same thing with an electric car like a Tesla. You know, that battery is not guaranteed forever. I think it's like 15, 20 grand to replace a battery on a Tesla. Okay, that's fine. But how much gas did you have to use to make sure that when that bill does come, that it was worth it for you? You know, something like, I don't even know. Can you lease a Tesla or can you only buy? I don't know stuff like that.
You want to know something? I don't know the answer to that. Scott says dealerships are packed. What do you want? Scott, I'm kind of playing with a few different ideas right now, so I'm not really ready to venture out with that conversation just yet. But you guys live everything with us, so when the time is right, we'll definitely share. I see two comments here that are completely different from one another, and what I will say is I can only share what I'm experiencing. I work in a field that there are many individuals in, and I will say I work with people that are leasing and buying. And I will say right now, my coworkers who are doing short-term leases are doing very well. And they're doing the short-term leases because the dealerships are predicting those short-term leases are going to turn into great financing opportunities in a short amount of time. My friends who at work who are doing finances right now are getting slaughtered. So Roger says dealerships are selling vehicles over MSRP.
Yep.
Scott says they are selling at. I will tell you, I'm hearing more from coworkers that they are over. I am hearing, Scott, that they're over, but leasing, they're working with people on, especially short term, because they are predicting that short term, the financing opportunities are going to be getting better. They're saying that people should not be looking to finance at this time right now. I also am hearing that people who are in leases right now are not, you know how you can like roll over and get more time with your lease? They're not working with people to lower their leasing prices, which is interesting. They want them to get into either short term or they want them to start new ones, which is very interesting.
Yes, some dealerships are selling at MSP, some are not. I had a buddy of mine drive out of state to a Ford dealership to get a truck because they were at MSRP compared to a dealer who was actually selling a truck above MSRP, and he made an offer and he says, we will think about it and get back to you. He's like, I need a truck now. I can't wait for you guys to try and get the highest offer. So it's like, forget
Scotty,
it.
I think it's the Yorker in him. He can't help
Tesla,
it. Tesla.
That's just the way it is. I know. Don't worry. I get people say Arian's wrong. Could care less.
All right, Wayne. Good morning. How are you?
Hope you guys are doing well over at EP. How are you guys doing with snow-wise? I really forgot. I really haven't spoken. Me and Jake, we talk, but how are you guys doing with snow? We really haven't gotten much.
And Wayne asked Timmy how the weather is over in the UK.
Our dealers can't get cars, so you have to pay extra, but they have trucks, but won't deal on them either.
Yeah.
They know what they have.
Yeah, understandably so.
It's kind of like, listen, you have a snowblower, right? And a storm is coming, and people want to make offers. It's like, pal, snow's on the way. We're not negotiable.
So Timmy says it's nice and dry there in Scotland, and they had some rain there this morning, but nothing since. Kind of like here. It's been like wet, cold, nothing crazy. Friday was great. Casey says battery power came on strong and now falling off steadily. Any thoughts on that?
And now falling off
steadily.
Because I think the wow factor is over.
Okay.
There's only so much growth you can have in the sector. I think now it just comes on improving what you have, making it better, making it more affordable, making it more reliable.
Bumblebee Tuna, your balls are showing, Jason. Did I miss something?
I don't know.
David, please share because I would have gotten a little excited over that. Grass is growing here.
You gotta get.
Woo,
I can't wait. I can't wait. I actually cut my grass in December, or was it January? When did I cut the grass?
You cut it late. I know that.
I had to do.
You got that last snow in.
It was growing, and I'm like, I gotta grow because if the snow came, I didn't want to get the chances of a fungus.
Growing as quickly as this hamburger meat here. I'm so sorry. 1 second. I changed out the front seats with airbag. I found out the computer matched the VIN to each seat. Now I need the dealer to reprogram the VIN of the new seat to match the car. 800 is what they say. Holy cow.
Body control module.
Roger said lots of snow here in Iowa,
Amazing.
Wayne.
Good for you.
Wayne, I start cutting grass second week of March.
Hey.
Only there, Roger. It's going to be 50 here in Des Moines today. Wow. That's kind of how it was here on Friday. It was really beautiful. It really was.
So that is correct. So that is correct. So there is that. So that is how you work on an Arian snowblower. First, you have to make sure your ECU is charged with that 7-volt battery. Well, why isn't that 12-volt is beyond me. But again, people are reporting like, this ECU is blinking X amount of times. That symbolizes what and where do I go from there? And these dealers aren't chiming in. And that's what aggravates me, the most, because there are guys out there firing the parts can, including the dealers, and their machines still aren't running right. And that's very frustrating to me. I have personally never owned a new vehicle and just on top, but still kicking over. Wow. Well, you know what? You guys have kilometers. And I don't know the ratio, but I know kilometers is greater than mileage, but still, you probably have to have like 250 on it. Her car.
I'm at 203.
203,000 miles. But that was accelerated because we were driving every day on top of our regular commute in our lives, driving every day into the city and back 7 days a week, not 5 days, 7 days a week in the city and back.
And what am I at? Like, is she 16 years old or 17? How many years
2006.
old? Okay.
So you're quick with the math.
Listen, at the end of the day, she owes me nothing.
Yeah, that's a great return.
I bought her new. And the truth is, listen, I work my buns off. Not really, because you guys know I have buns. But at the end of the day, you work hard, extremely hard. You play harder. And at the end of the day, I'm ready for this. I want it.
So here's the thing. So we talk about like newer vehicles.
Yeah.
Her car is a 2006. We had to, I sent her cluster out.
Oh, that was interesting.
To get rebuilt. The gas gauge wasn't reading the fuel level accurately. And that threw a check engine light.
Crazy, right?
And because it threw a check engine light, we couldn't pass the inspection, so we had to send the cluster
How about
out.
every time I got under half a tank of gas, it also thought I was almost empty. That was fun.
So, so with the cluster not reading accurately, it threw a check engine light, we can't pass state inspection. Something as simple as that.
Right.
Why is that computerized? We're just reading.
It's nuts.
We're just reading, levels. All right, fine. Why does it throw a check engine light? It's just things are getting more complicated. Does it need to be that complicated? Absolutely not. I'm telling you right now, the Honda Element is going at a certain point, and I am getting something significantly older to drive every day. I don't want to deal with this modern stuff. It doesn't need to be this complicated.
Yeah.
And then state inspections do factor into that because it's a chore to a certain extent. We have a great mechanic that we met through her. He's great. He understands what I do, what we do, and he works with me. But it's just, it's just insane. It just doesn't need to be that.
I've known him for a long time.
And
I'm not a baby anymore. He's known me since I was 16.
When we do get a new vehicle, as soon as the warranty is over, if we do buy it, we're getting a new one. We're not holding on to anything. Yeah. No, not happening anymore.
David says, I missed you guys. Hope everything is well.
Yes,
we missed
likewise,
you too.
Likewise.
Life just.
So it's like funny, like I was going through like old content stuff because I was still recording, even though we weren't, posting. So I think I do want to drop a few older videos out of nowhere, because even though we weren't posting, we were still accomplishing a few things. And I do feel that I do owe you guys a few videos because a lot of you guys were active and invested in some of the projects. And I really don't want to feel that we didn't appreciate you.
Chris says, with electric stuff, I do not think the quality is good enough for the price of the batteries. It only takes one bad cell to cause the battery to go bad.
So I think with us, the electric stuff, we have the Cobalt 40-volt system. I mean, we're going on like 5 or 6 years. We, like I said, last year, we had a situation arise and we really put that to the test. And because of the Cobalt and battery, we were able to accomplish what we did in a short amount of time. If it was gas powered, we really would have been pinned up against the wall because this is something that we did outside of our normal hours of operation work. And if we had to rely on gas power and noise ordinances, we really would have been up, Schitt's Creek in a certain extent. So, you know, for us so far, our experience with battery powered has been positive, and I felt at this point, you know, we have a great return on our investment with the battery equipment. I have no complaints so
And
far. I do agree.
To be quite honest with you, Chris, I can only speak for myself. The equipment that we got that's been battery powered, it's been very easy for me to maneuver and operate.
Yep.
So just for that simple return on our money, I've been very appreciative to have. It's fairly lightweight. I'm able to start it with no issues whatsoever. I mean, I could start our other equipment as well, but I just feel very comfortable in knowing that if there's any problems at all, I mean, it's as simple as popping in another battery. I don't have any worries whatsoever. So there's some reassurance there as well. Scotty says, I haven't even fired the Arians as well. Yeah, I feel you. I hear you. Wayne says, we'll be getting 11 degrees Celsius midweek with 20 millimeters of rain and have 4 snow blowers to sell. That's amazing. Scotty says his Toyota has over 578 kilometers.
Not that.
Okay.
Miles. Yeah.
Miles. Okay. Still kicking. Why am I not surprised, Scotty? Always have bought used from a local dealer and include the 3-year lubricoil.
Okay.
Warranty. Okay. To pick up another extension for 2 years. This is always paid for itself. I never buy private.
Yeah, so like for us, private, you know, we've gotten burnt in the private sector, but because of our capabilities and our ability to learn and to adapt and our mentality on certain things, you know, we're able to overcome a lot of these hurdles. You know, if you buy a private vehicle and you're not handy at all and you're relying on your mechanic all the time, you're opening up yourself to a lot of liability. I do have a video that I probably do want to drop at a certain time. You know, I sold my father's truck. His truck was a Cherry. Very, 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 very low mileage for the year.
It's beautiful.
And, you know, for the money that we sold it for, I mean, we got the runaround. I mean, we had people Carfaxing, doing all this stuff, and I tried to answer every question. You know, these guys did their research. We had a guy that wanted to come from Florida to buy it. I mean, it was like a whole mess. And, you know, we ended up selling it here locally. I didn't want to accept the guy's offer from Florida because it just, you know, I do believe in like karma and juju and stuff. So I already agreed to sell this, you know, locally to a guy. And then the guy from Florida wanted to offer more money. It wasn't a life-changing amount. I mean, if he wanted to offer like $5,000 more than what we sold, yeah, let's talk. Not, you know, $1,000 or $2,000. If he would have offered me $5,000 more, sent me money, I would have given this guy that I accepted his offer a couple of bucks, make him happy. Thank you for your time, you know, and then pass on the money to my father. You know, when you guys, and you know, this vehicle is clean. And you guys know how I do my lawn mowers and snow blowers. So what makes you think I won't emulate that in our vehicles? 100%. How many vehicles have we sold for our parents?
I think it's our second one.
Third.
The Cherokee,
the Liberty, and the Avalanche.
Oh, the third. I'm sorry.
Every time my parents need to sell one of their vehicles, except for the RAV4, they put that responsibility on us, and we have sold those vehicles. No problem. You know, it's like, you know, when you guys, you know, I say this all the time, right? And even when we're looking at vehicles, like they put up these half-ass ads, it's very frustrating. If you guys would provide the VIN number, then I could do a Carfax on it. If you guys provide the VIN number, I could run a blanketed free Carfax if you don't want to pay for it and see certain things. But if it's a serious vehicle, then you could run the full VIN and get the full story before you even get up there. So I'm very transparent in my ads. I am like deathly afraid to sell things for a lot of money only because of what I go through here for a little bit of money in theory. But that was a crazy process considering the times. But, you know, we're fortunate enough to have a scan tool. Does it read everything? No. You know, did it read that the Honda had a blown head gasket? No. You know, but it's a learning process. And what we use our vehicles for, that Honda has paid for itself, 50 times over.
Yes.
So, and it's, believe it or not, we didn't know that Hondas have a cult following in that sector. So we're going to get more money.
That your particular.
Yeah, we're going to get more money than what we have into it. So used sector, do your research. It's very, very tough because just like we buy and sell equipment, there are guys out there that buy and sell cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be careful of those
and
guys.
Just like in our sector, there's liars and there's people who they sell lemons and they sell lemons and
and the laws have changed and people have changed. I don't know what the ramifications are if, let's say, you buy a used vehicle from someone and they put in the ad that there's no issues and this and that, and it actually does have issues within reason. I don't know about odometer fraud. I don't know what happens if we could have did the blown head gasket, but it's like, all right, you know what? I'm one of those people. I bought it. It's used. It's as is. It is what it is. I'm just going to, deal with it. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, I'm not getting into other people's problems. Mm-hmm. I predict piles of scrap battery-powered equipment equaling the piles of used tires stored all over the country.
Interesting. So I didn't know that there's issues with used tires. I was under the assumption that they are being, recycled for turf and a few other, other endeavors. I didn't know that they are a landfill item. Piles of scrap battery-powered equipment, absolutely. But I think that just like any other electrical component, they're just going to be scrapped. That's it. The components are going to be scrapped and sent and made into silverware in China and brought back to us so we can eat off our battery powered one spoon, and then the plastic will be melted down or whatever they do with it. But I do agree.
Okay. Anything over 25 years old in New York does not need emissions inspection. So just buying anything older than 98, you can have all the lights on.
So you are correct. Mandingo was in 1996, even though it is
a classic.
Diesel. Even though it is diesel, all it gets is a safety inspection now.
Yeah.
The Nissan's a 2006, the Honda's 2003. But even though these vehicles are fine, they still have all these electrical components and all these sensors, and they just need to go. And that's what I'm choosing to do. You have your EVAP and all this other stuff that'll just drive you crazy.
Oh, you have a question from Bear Spares, who, might I add?
Oh, yeah. So we spoke about...
We've got your fix.
Yeah, so you're late, but we spoke about the snow tank. I still have it. Now, originally, the snow tank was just going to be like, hey, here it is. We're just going to go through it, a little review, a little overview, look at the mechanicals.
Seems like the people are wanting this track.
Yeah, and call it a day. So my plan with the snow tank was to get it, which we did, got it delivered. We got it delivered here. And then I was just going to go through it and be like, hey, here's a tank. Here it is. Let's just go review it. Hopefully use it.
Like the people want more.
Which we couldn't use it. And then I was not going to walk you through the repair process. I just wasn't going to do that. But now I did get some of the repair process out of the way. I'm thinking about just taking you where I left off, and we'll go from there. But the tank is still here. We're just working on other things, like it is here, and we just got parts in for it.
Was one of the parts the ones that has to get returned?
No, that was for another machine. But I did get some parts for it. I probably could have got away with not getting the parts for it, but I just want to make sure it's a-okay. And that's why I want to start a video on it, is to see what you guys would do and see if I'm right, or but yeah, there will be a video out on the tank. We're just yes. I think the
Seems
tank,
like you know your priorities.
Yeah, I think the tank will be worked on this week. I posted a video on Facebook about a snowball I'm working on, about how it's being stored and what are the issues of it. So I think once that hurdle jumps, we're going to jump on the tank this week. And then I really need to get that one tractor off the back of Mandingo, and we could start working on it, and we could start triaging it together because I wanted to buy another lawn tractor, but
let's hope that the weather remains the same, right? Like you don't get this.
Yesterday would have been a great day to work on the lawn tractor, but I wanted to prioritize the project pile, and that's what I'm doing.
Wayne says, I do not think they will recycle the plastics. At least fuel-powered equipment can be melted down and repurposed into new metal and aluminum products. you know, I guess only time will tell, right? And who has the crystal ball, right?
Yeah.
We had a state inspections in Iowa in the 70s, and it was so corrupt they got rid of it.
So here's the crazy part. New Jersey, the state handles the state inspections, if memory serves me correct. You know, you don't go to an independent repair shop. You go through a state facility, and they have state workers that will inspect your vehicle. So the plus side is that you don't have to worry about them trying to do something in order to sell something. But if you have a good mechanic, they might try and let things slide. They won't let anything slide. And I'm not sure if it's New Jersey or Connecticut. They will fail you for a state inspection if you have a plug in your tire. If you have a repair on your tire, you fail. They deem it not safe. I remember that when I was working at Sears. So yeah. You know, I believe in patch plugs where it's from the inside. I'm not sure if that's legal in that state, but I believe in a patch plugs I'm not a fan of, but you know, considering what tires cost now, you know, we'll do anything we can to make sure, you know.
Wow. So I
It's time
think
to
on
go.
that note, we really appreciate you. We kept you longer than we were thinking of keeping you, but it was wonderful.
Absolutely.
Just a couple of things. Again, don't forget Tuesday. So today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You have 3 days. Whether it's showing the person in your life some love, showing yourself some love. Tuesday is Valentine's Day, February 14th. We know that we heart you. Happy Valentine's Day to all our viewers.
Every day is Valentine's Day.
You know what? It is. Every day is listen, after the year we've had, every day is Valentine's Day. I'm grateful to have this munchkin right here. Just remember, if you are not subscribed, which I know many of you are, but you're catching this on the replay, make sure that you click that little subscribe button so you do not miss us. Please make sure that on your way out today that you hit that like button if you enjoyed your time with us today. Remember, Bear Spares, we've got your fix.
For all your secondhand snowblower parts at a great price.
And remember how much we love you and appreciate you. Remember that you are never alone. You've always got Patty's Performance. And remember, there are so many other ladies and gentlemen going live between today and tomorrow doing what we do and love. So make sure you catch them all on their lives as well. And remember, until the next one, later.